Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's video in which we are doing a full face of one brand, and that brand today is Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury are without a doubt one of my all-time favourite brands, and I've picked out my all-time favourites and I would love to share them with you. Before we get into it, just letting you know that I do post videos like this on a weekly basis, so if you would like to become part of our little community here, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. If you would like to see how I put together this full face of Charlotte Tilbury, then please do keep on watching. So we'll start with the products that I use every single day, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. I just love this. It's hydrating, it has an SPF, it just leaves me with such healthy looking glowy skin, and it's an amazing primer for any foundation that I apply over the top of it. Love it. So in relation to eyes, I do have a couple of products to choose from. So two of the palettes that I picked out was this one, which is the Easy Eye palette for the Charlotte Darling look. You know, kind of typical Charlotte Tilbury colours, and this is even more typical Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. Now, I was having a look for this online yesterday, and this is one of my all-time favourite palettes. It's me in a palette, basically. It's just got every colour that I just love. But I think it's been discontinued. Why, Charlotte? Why have you discontinued this? So that means that I'm going to have to use this very, very sparingly if I can't get my hands on it again. So we'll go with this little palette. This is so handy for travel. The only thing that puts me off this palette is there's not a light transition shade. So what I think I will do, just pick a transition shade out of this one, because this has got some really lovely ones. So I think we'll go for down here, this light brown here, and we'll just take that. I mean, they're so pigmented. Here comes a tractor. Yippee. Wow, they're loud. Fluffing it out a wee bit. I'm now going to dip into this shade here. I'll put them up on the screen. I'm going to take my BK Beauty 201 and I'm just going to concentrate on the outer part of my eye. I also have a few of the Eyes to Mesmerise by Charlotte Tilbury one pot cream shadows, and they're lovely. I use this colour today on the lid just to show you what they're like. I don't know, I've not decided what I'm doing on the lid today. We're just winging it today. That's what we're doing. We're winging it. We're going to see how we feel. Just going to go in with this shade at the end. I'm just going to pack it on the outside. Remember, these are super pigmented. You know, you are paying a bit more for Charlotte Tilbury, but I really do think that with the majority of her products, you are getting good quality and good value. This is my very deep set eye, more deep set than this side, so it can be a bit tricky when it comes to the smoky shade, but we do our best. I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Eyes to Mesmerise, which is this. Sorry, it's just wanting to focus on my face. And this is in Champagne, and better to be applied with your finger. It's quite hard because I have nails, but we'll just pop it on. You see how pigmented they are, but they're really, really easy to work with. They give you loads of time to play around with. They are just really, really nice shadows. The pigment is lovely on them. So you can just take a brush then and just pop it wherever you want. Especially if you have deep set eyes or hooded eyes maybe. You know, they do help to open up the eye a bit. They don't budge, they don't crease, and they're not too shimmery, they're not too sparkly. Charlotte Tilbury do one of my favourite eyeliners, and it's a brown eyeliner. As you can tell, it's very used, very loved. I tend to use it in the waterline. You can take this liner and you can pop it onto the lash line a bit, and you can just smudge it out a bit. So I'm going to take this palette again. I'm going to go into the darkest shade, and I'm just going to bring it under the lash line. I'm about to move on to mascara, but before I do, I'm going to grab my Hollywood Flawless Filter. Love this. If you watched my recommendations video, I talk about it there also. It's a stunning product. I use this underneath my makeup, so just on the perimeters of my face, and it just gives me a lovely healthy glow under my makeup. I'm just taking my BK Beauty 101 and just blending that. In the summer, I'll use this on its own. It doesn't give you the coverage of a foundation or a skin tint, but there is some coverage there. Anytime I wear this, I get compliments on how glowy my skin looks. So yeah, not greasy or anything like that, just really beautiful. Mascara, we're going to be using the Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes. This is in my top drawer. I really like this mascara. So it's kind of flat. So you kind of deposit onto the lashes with the flat side and then comb it through with the edge. I think that's how that's how I use it anyway. This is how my eyes are looking right now. So that's just one quick coat without dipping back into the tube. It is really nice. I like it because it gives you time to work. This is definitely more, I would say, a lengthening and a separating mascara rather than a volumizing one. Yeah, I'll just pop off and do the other eye. So mascara's done. I will pop mascara onto my bottom lashes, but I always do that last. Moving on to our complexion now. And we are using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, and I have this in the shade 5N, which is 5 Neutral. In relation to my skin tone, I have been for colour matching so many times, and when they see me they always go, oh yeah, you're neutral, straight down the line neutral. But then when we actually apply the products, they find that I can have an olivey, sometimes golden undertone also, so it can be tricky. Shade 5N, and it actually suits my skin tone perfectly. And if you notice, it's not a runny formula at all. And I think this came out around the same time as the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. And I think people thought that they would be similar. Actually, they're completely different foundations. For me, this one is far more coverage. The NARS is a lot more lightweight. So I'm going to apply this with my BK Beauty 101 brush. It blends out really nicely, but it's definitely on the thicker side. It's a full foundation, I would say, but not full coverage. It's just full bodied. But it does leave the skin looking nice. So I have a little spot there, I don't know if you can see. So it has marginally masked it. So it's definitely, I would say, a light to medium coverage, and certainly is buildable. But you know, when I look in around the mouth area, I feel like it does look just a little bit makeup-y around that area. I think it's a lovely foundation. I think it looks lovely on. However, if you're looking for a lightweight foundation, that's not it. It doesn't feel skin-like as the NARS Light Reflecting one does. This Beautiful Skin Concealer, I have this in 2 shades. I have a 6 and an 8, and the 6 is kind of perfect for me. It's swatched on my hand. Genuinely, I feel like this is one of the most underrated concealers there is. If I was to do a list of my top 5 concealers, this would 100% be in it. And it's so good for mature under eyes. It is lovely. If you do have mature under eyes, I would definitely consider giving this a whirl. Is really lovely on mature under eyes because it just doesn't sit into creases and lines. It doesn't feel heavy, and the thing that I look for in a concealer, I mean, we're all different in the things that we look for, but this is so hydrating, and I love the feeling of a hydrating concealer. There's nothing worse for me than finding a concealer that dries my under eyes. So I'm just going to use a little bit on the face. I'm going to use a bit here just to lift the face a bit. It has a little bit of luminosity to it as well, which I just think is really, really flattering as you get a little bit older. And I don't always feel like I have to set it either. I am such a huge fan of this concealer. I love it. Love, 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 love. All right, so we're going to go in with a little bit of contour, and I'm going to be using the Hollywood Contour Wand. This is in the shade Fair to Medium. Just going to dot that here. I would have preferred the darker one, which is it medium to dark? But I mean, it was out of stock. I can't remember a time with it being in stock. I think it is in stock now, but the woman in the airport, actually, she was like, no, try this shade. It's not as light as what you think it's going to be, and it can be actually a lot more natural. And as you can see, it is super natural. It's really blendable, and I think that's really important when it comes to contour. I love that, but I also do love the e.l.f. dupe, so also a really good product. So I'm just going to wipe off that brush, and I'm going to use the same brush for my bronzer, and this is just the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. So this is my newest product, and this is the Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. Just going to pop that where the sun would hit. Oh, this is in the shade 2 Medium. If you've been here before, you know that I love cream products, and this is one of the best cream bronzers I've ever used. I mean, I'm a big fan of NARS Laguna bronzer, but this is definitely up there as well. It's really lovely. It's just really massive. So it would put me off traveling with it. Look at the size difference. Like, this is my NARS, and you get 19 grams of product, and with the Charlotte Tilbury you get 21 grams. I mean, if I'm traveling, I'm taking the NARS, although the Charlotte Tilbury has a really nifty mirror. So, pros and cons. So next we have my squished. This is the Pillow Talk Beauty Blush Wand, and this is in matte, which isn't very like me, but this is in the shade Dream Pop. Popping it into my hand. I'm just going to pop it on. I've put too much on. If you find yourself in this situation, just grab your foundation brush and just go over it. Tone it down. Would have been a disaster. Would have been a disaster. If you were to apply it directly to your cheek, I would say just do one little dot, because look, it's so pigmented. But I don't mind a bit of a blush face, but you don't want to look too crazy. The reason that I went for the matte in the first place is because I was going through a bit of a breakout on my cheeks, kind of hormonal. A dewy product would just emphasize the texture, the spots. The matte one has actually been a really good option for those days where I do get breakouts on my cheeks, but still want to use cream products. So yeah, it's been a nice option. All right, this is the Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. e.l.f. do a really good dupe of this, by the way. And this is in the shade, I don't know, Pillow Talk. What else would it be? What else would it be? So I just like to tap my finger onto this and then pat it onto my cheek. And I either reach for this or I reach for the e.l.f. Either. I think they're both really subtle. You know, it's not really highlighted that you can see from space. It's just really, really nice and subtle. You know, if it goes a bit awry, if you put too much on, I think cream highlighters are easier to save because you can just pat over with your foundation brush and it won't be too traumatic. I feel like my cheeks are really blushed. Have I gone too far? I forgot to say that I don't have any Charlotte Tilbury brow products, and there's a reason for this. I had the Charlotte Tilbury, now I don't know what it's called, is it brow cheat? No, I don't know what it's called. A refillable pencil. The day that I bought it, it fell out onto the floor and smashed. It literally just fell out of the pencil. what the hell? So since then I was like, no, Charlotte, I'm not having it. And actually, this moves me on to my next product. And are you ready for some trauma? This. That I'm gonna have to read it like this, and I'm gonna tell you why. So it's the Airbrush Flawless Filter Powder. Love it, carry it everywhere with me until last week. Sat in a restaurant, thought, oh, I just need to reapply my lippy after eating. Opened it up, and this is what faced me. And I'm not a big powder person. It's amazing at blurring. It's fantastic, and it will set your makeup and it will last. It's brilliant. But that's not brilliant. I didn't even drop it. Smashed so easily, and I'm a bit traumatized. So it's supposed to be a pressed powder. Is it still going to work as well? I don't know. I'm not putting it in the bin, I'll tell you that. I don't usually use it to set under my eyes because, you know, I like what I like under my eyes. You know, we're doing full face today, so I'm going to use a bit under my eyes just to set it. And yeah, really nice powder for when it's not smashed. So we're moving on to lips, and I mean, we have to do a Pillow Talk lip, don't we? I mean, I think it's the law. This is in the shade Pillow Talk. So that's the lip liner, and then we're going in with the Pillow Talk lipstick, which I never used to have off my lips really. Really creamy, really lovely. Haven't used this for ages actually. I might have to go back in the top drawer. I'm going to go in with the setting spray. Now, I love this setting spray. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I love this, but I don't think everybody does. Like, I recommended this to my friend and she's not wholly gone on it, but you know, we're all different. I just think this sets my makeup in place and it just refreshes my makeup. If it's looking a little bit, you know, heavy, a little bit powdery, this is really good. So I'm just gonna pop a bit of this on. Smells gorgeous as well. Just going to pop a bit of mascara on my bottom lashes. I think we're done. So there we have it, a full base of my all-time favourite Charlotte Tilbury products. Many of these are absolutely holy grails to me, and I would love to hear what Charlotte Tilbury products you love too. Thanks for joining me for another video. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video, but until then, take care and bye for now.